Thursday, November 10th, commission meeting to order.
Oh, he gavelled in.
First item on the agenda would be the minutes review, October 27th. Any changes? Stand as written. Citizen comments? Jeff, any comments? Any comment? Okay. All right. Next item on the agenda would be the consent agenda. There's only one action item. It'd be the cereal malt beverage license application for JT Travel Plaza. And then I have two mayoral appointments for recommendations. Building Trade Board, Chris Teeter, and where's the other one? Sorry.
Thomas Ostrander.
Yeah, Thomas Ostrander for the CBD.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Swaller, seconded by Commissioner Phelps. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Unfinished business, nothing. Next item would be City of Hayes employee health insurance for 2017.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Erin Giebler, the Director of Human Resources. And before we talk about the 2017 health insurance, let's look at the history of health insurance with the City of Hayes. In 2010, City Commission set a $9,500 per average employee cap on health insurance. Since then, the Wage and Benefit Committee and city staff have been tasked with finding the best insurance within this budget. In 2016, employees were provided with a dual option health insurance plan provided by Aetna. This plan, one of the plans had a $1,500 deductible and $1,000 coinsurance. This plan was called the premium plan and had employees paying 8.31% of the total premiums. While the base plan, which had a $2,500 deductible with another $3,850 in coinsurance, was a no-cost option for employees and their families. Approximately 78% of employees chose the premium plan. For 2017, employees expressed their desire to offer a high-deductible health plan. The renewal and bid process was completed by the city's benefit consultant, Julie Yarmer. She received responses from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas, including both fully insured and self-funded options, Aetna, United Health, the state plan, and the Midwest Public Risk Group. Competitive bids came back from Aetna and Blue Cross Blue Shield, which were reviewed by the Wage and Benefit Committee. The Wage and Benefit Committee also reviewed the state plan, as employees have asked for this plan in the past. Aetna's renewal of the city's current plan saw a 7.9% increase. They also provided a high-deductible health plan, which was an increase of approximately 5.5%. Blue Cross Blue Shield's bid of their traditional plans were slightly higher than Aetna's, but their high-deductible health plan came back much cheaper than Aetna's, providing a premium decrease. The state plan had extremely large costs, and due to the rules of the employee contribution limits, the state plan would not allow the city to stay under their $9,500 per average employee cap. Also for 2017, the state's plan design changed drastically, making the plan less desirable for employees. The Wage and Benefit Committee reviewed these plan designs and discussed the options with their employees. The committee members all agreed their employees wanted a high-deductible health plan provided, and since Blue Cross Blue Shield had the cheapest high-deductible health plan, they focused their attention on Blue Cross's bid. After reviewing the options, they recommended a triple option plan provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield. They also wanted to be able to offer a no-cost option for employees enrolling only themselves, so they recommended this be done on the cheapest plan, which is the high-deductible health plan. The recommendation for 2017's health insurance includes the following three plans. The high-deductible health plan would offer a $3,000 deductible per person up to 2 people. Since this is a qualified high-deductible health plan, this plan has no first-dollar benefits besides preventative care, and all costs are paid by the employee until the deductible is met. This may be paired with a health savings account where employees can contribute money tax-free for medical expenses. Employees would pay 2.45% of the premium for each tier except the employee-only option, which would be the no-cost option. A family plan would cost just over $15 biweekly. The base plan would offer a $1,500 deductible with additional $2,500 of coinsurance paid 50-50. This plan has a $1,500 increase in max out-of-pocket for the employee compared to our current plan, but the premium costs are similar to what employees are currently paying for. It also provides first dollar benefits for doctor visits, prescription drugs, and accidental injuries. Employees would pay 8.31% of the premium, ranging from $17.33 biweekly for an employee-only plan up to $56.44 biweekly for a family plan. The premium plan, which is extremely comparable to the city's current premium plan, has a $1,500 deductible with additional $1,000 of coinsurance paid 80/20. This plan also provides first dollar benefits for doctor visits, prescription drugs, and accidental injuries. Employees would pay 14.25% of premiums, ranging from $31.78 biweekly for an employee-only plan up to $103.49 biweekly for a family plan. City staff did an in-house survey to see how the 2017's health insurance recommendation compares to other organizations. Staff surveyed governmental agencies around Kansas as well as local businesses in northwest Kansas. This survey shows employees' proposed costs and deductibles for each plans are well within range of other governmental and local agencies. The city staff is also recommending the utilization of $150,000 from the Employees Benefit Levy Contingency Fund to provide eligible employees up to $925 of employer match to help employees fund their health savings account. This will encourage employees to start funding their own health savings account in a year where they're not receiving pay increases, and encourage employees to enroll in the high deductible health plan, which is a consumer-driven plan designed to help control utilization. City staff recommends the commission authorize the city manager to sign an agreement with Blue Cross Blue Shield to provide employees with a triple option health insurance plan, with the city paying up to $1,719,500 and authorize $150,000 to fund employees' health savings account, both out of the Employees Benefit Levies Fund. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move we authorize the city manager to sign an agreement with Blue Cross and Blue Shield to provide employees with a triple option health insurance plan, the city paying up to $1,719,500 and authorize $150,000 to fund employees' health savings accounts. Both funds be taken out of the Employee Benefit Levy Fund.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Swaller, second by Commissioner Jones. Any comment?
Mr. Mayor, I was going to ask Aaron, you had that up there about the in-house survey. You get a good response on that from the employees? Does everybody understand, what they're getting into? And
From the employees?
And did you also go out and do like a presentation to the departments or small groups or anything like that?
We did presentations to the Wage and Benefit Committee, who then took it back to their employees. If this passes, we have meetings set up for Tuesday, so we can actually start talking with employees about the high deductible plan. That's one you get the most questions about.
And then I think I'll follow up with some comments made last week. I appreciate the work that you and Ms. Jarmer did, going out and soliciting that information and those numbers. That's great.
Thank you.
Yes. Aaron, I also want to, working with the employees, giving them something they wanted, I think is something really good. I'm glad, I think Commissioner Swaller said last year, we're giving $150,000 into the employee benefit. I hope they understand it probably won't be there next year.
Right.
The way things are going.
This
And I
year
think
only.
you said that, you told us that they understood that, so I think we did the right thing with this.
I want to thank the employees too, because they're the ones
Absolutely.
willing to change plans when need be. And how many places do you go to where people ask for a high deductible plan? That just shows that employees are really knowledgeable and take the time to understand where we are financially and what might work best to control costs in the future.
Well, again, as Commissioner Phelps pointed out, and the mayor, it's your leadership, the city manager, putting together the Wage and Benefit Committee and working with them. If you provide people with information and you're honest with them, they're going to make good decisions like this, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Yes, I vote. Next item on the agenda would be the Fort Hays Municipal Golf Course Pro Shop Manager Contract.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jeff Boyle, Director of Parks. The City of Hays standard practice is to contract management of the pro shop at the Fort Hays Municipal Golf Course. The current pro shop manager is Rich Guffey, and he's been, his contract ends December 31st, 2016. City staff sent out requests for qualifications in August to a list of individuals who had shown interest. Additionally, the announcements were posted to the City of Hays website, the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, the Kansas Golf Course Superintendents Association website, and were announced in the Hays Daily News on 4 different occasions. The deadline for submittals was August 30, 2016. City received 2 resumes at that time. The only qualifying resume was from Rich Guffey. Staff then met with Rich Guffey and requested a formal written proposal to operate the pro shop. After discussing the proposal with Mr. Guffey, he agreed to the original contract terms with exception to the contractual payment amount. Mr. Guffey is requesting an increase of $3,000 annually or $24,000 a year total. Previous contracts with Mr. Guffey from 2000 to 2006 included a contractual payment of $16,800 per year, while contracts from 2007 until the current year, 2016, included contractual payments of $21,000 a year. City staff is requesting to go ahead and approve the 1-year contract with Rich Guffey, which would begin January 1, 2017 and end December 31st, 2017.
I'll make a motion to enter into a contract for 1 year with Rich Guffey as requested by city staff.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Phelps. Any comment?
Why are we doing a one, and this was probably asked last week, but I wasn't here. Why are we doing a year contract instead of a 3?
We're meeting with city manager here about the new point of sale system that allows us to track inventory and expenses, which we currently have a tough time doing because of the way the contract is set up. Not the contract, but the way the pro shop is set up. We're using antiquated equipment out there. If we can get the new point of sale system in, which is very inexpensive, this will allow us to track not only inventory and expenses, but also continue tracking all the greens fees and food sale revenue. So we'd like to look at that midway through the year next year, kind of get a feel for where we're at, and that will give us a good idea of what our future might be, whether that be hiring city employees to run it, hiring Rich Guffey for a couple more years, whatever the city commission deems necessary or desirable. But it'll give us a better feel with the inventory and expense part of it to know whether it's affordable for the city.
But
If we-
Mr. Guffey, to be honest, was also wanted a 1-year contract. He was okay with it.
He was okay with it,
Right.
yes. He actually originally requested a 3-year contract, but he was okay with the 1-year contract with new point of sale.
And I will say, I kind of agree with the 1-year contract, because I think we need to look into the golf course to see if there's anything, that we can do different. I think Mr. Guffey does a good job, but
He
I
does a
think,
great job.
I think there's abilities to find out what we can do different to possibly make it better. Or I don't think we have the staffing currently to do it, but maybe possibly in the future.
If I may, I was going to tell Commissioner Meyer, I asked the question last week if, the way we do that out there, we have a private individual come in and contract like that, if that was kind of a common model throughout, and it actually kind of, the way I understood it, goes across the board. You have some parks departments have, a city employee running it and all that, and I think what they're doing right now is just kind of want to find out, what kind of money goes through there and how the best way is to track that and so forth. So,
Because where do the revenues from that go right now?
Well, the revenues for all greens fees, tournament fees, cart shed rentals, memberships, that all comes to the city. All food sales, beverages, cart rentals, I said beverages already. Those all go to, what's that?
Apparel.
Apparel,
stuff like
golf
that.
balls, clubs, those sort of things. All that the revenue from all that goes to Rich Guffey.
Does he own the carts?
He rents the carts, he leases the carts, yeah.
Okay.
And he owns all of the stuff to outfit the pro shops. All the food in there is his.
Right.
All of the apparel, the balls and stuff, that's his investment. He buys that and turns it around.
We may be getting the greatest deal ever.
We might be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
No doubt about
At
it.
the moment, that's an unknown
That's right.
thing, so.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. I mean, please don't get the impression we think this is a bad deal. This is a very good deal.
I'm going to give a little historical perspective. The first time I came to the city commission years ago, we toured all the departments. And I remember we drove down Main Street and we were heading out to the wastewater treatment plant or something. And the city manager at that time asked the new commissioner, said, "Are you hearing anything about the golf course?" No, and he goes, "You will hear about the golf course." And I will say this, the last few years being on the commission here, mainly what I hear about the golf course is absolutely positive comments. And all you have to do is go out there and look at the condition of the fairways and the greens and everything. But, you know, back in the day, I guess, I don't know what the situation was out there, but you did hear about the golf course. You know, everybody wanted to be on the golf course advisory. Now you got to bribe people to do it. No, I don't want to. I'm fine, you know. So, at any rate, you guys do a great job with that.
I appreciate that,
Mr.
thank you, I'll
Guthrie.
pass that on.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Next item, report of the city manager.
Just one thing to comment on with regard to the health insurance tonight. You know, several years ago, we started noticing some significant increases annually in health insurance, and as a benefit provided, the feedback we were getting from employees was sort of a disgruntledness because of they didn't like the trend, but yet they weren't part of the procurement process. They essentially were just given a plan every year and said, "This is your plan." And so we put together the Wage and Benefit Committee as representatives of management, clerical, administrative, the various unions, and in hopes of bringing them on board and letting them know the factors we're dealing with from a budgetary constraints, what the market's doing, what's happening in peer entities, and getting their input. Because, you know, just like sometimes they didn't like whatever we handed them, well, sometimes we didn't know what they wanted. And we weren't sure of whether they liked this or not, or, you know, the assumption is maybe employees don't want to change plans, or you had one employee complain about changing plans, you certainly all feel that way. So the participation and feedback from the Wage and Benefit Committee has been great. They take their positions very seriously. They analyze the data. If you've ever analyzed the compared insurance plans, it's not the funnest thing in the world to do. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of entities don't switch, because it's almost impossible to get apples-to-apples comparisons, and the insurance companies do the best job they can to not give you those apples-to-apples comparisons. So the Wage and Benefit Committee's done a great job. Aaron has done a great job working with the Wage and Benefit Committee and with the consultant we hired, Julie Armour. They've done a good job of making sure that we get buy-in to this. So I just want to say I'm very, very happy with her leadership for that.
Great. That's awesome. One item I would like to bring up before we get to comments is first of all, I'd like to congratulate Commissioner Phelps on your election to the state legislature. I think you'll be very lucky to have you serve us. I believe we need to start, I would like to take applications. From what I've talked to, Mr. Phelps, sounds like he wants to stay on up until you can't. I'd like to take applications possibly 3 weeks, and then possibly on January 12th, review or make the decision, and then on the 19th, that person would take the seat. Just want to see if you guys have any questions, suggestions on that.
Why 3 weeks?
That's,
Okay.
I guess that's just something I threw out there. I mean, do you
Well,
guys?
because it would be rather quiet from the 23rd to the 1st.
Right, I mean,
2nd.
we got the holidays.
So I'd say open them up December 1st.
December 1st?
Yep.
Okay.
They can submit them electronically through Hayes USA or deliver them in person.
Okay, and how long do we want to accept them? Because I think I guess we want to have time to review if we have to make that decision.
How about just the month of December and cut it off?
Okay, are you
It's
guys?
up to this commission.
Yeah,
When do we,
May I
Absolutely.
interject here?
Please.
Well, the way I was looking at it, the legislative session starts on the second Monday of January, which would put it on the 9th. And so I'd probably be, be here for the meeting on the 5th.
Okay.
And with that 10-day thing, I mean, I can submit a letter of resignation and put on there like effective the 6th or something like that, and then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it'd be less than a week till the following Thursday, and that would be within your 10-day timeframe to take
Yeah,
that.
the commission would have to take action at the meeting on the 12th to elect somebody. They wouldn't have to take the seat at that meeting. It could be the next work session when they get sworn in, but you would have to take action to
Yeah.
fill the
Right.
vacancy at that time.
So I was looking at the calendar and so I think umpteen years ago, that's what I did, was served up until like the couple days before I left town.
Well, I appreciate your willingness to serve up until your last minute. Really good.
So
Well,
then,
Can we open it up like immediately for applications and just take them through, say, the work session on the 15th? And then we can review them and make a decision on the 22nd, and they would still take the seat on the 12th? I think it would give them plenty of time
I
up
think
until the 15th to do applications, and we'd have a little time to review them for a week, and then we could make a decision on the 22nd.
Joan, does this statute indicate we need the resignation to appoint someone?
You need to know when it's effective.
Okay.
I mean, I've listened to the conversation. You either could make it effective upon him being sworn in, as far as that goes,
Right.
so that the clock doesn't start ticking until then. But the statute actually says that within 10 days after the occurrence of the vacancy, you shall elect some suitable person to fill the vacancy. And you could, I don't think you can act before the vacancy occurs.
Right.
That's right.
You can do anything else before the vacancy occurs, but you can't take the official vote until after the vacancy has occurred.
Well, that's, I mean, I'm fine opening now, but I think we should wait until, well, we have to, which you
Right.
said we have to wait till the 12th.
I agree.
When Commissioner Wassinger was elected to the county commission, I believe we put up a panel on our website. Apply for the county commission position, and when you click to it, it was an application to serve on a board or committee that they filled out. So we could do the same thing, it's just a matter of when do you want it up, when do you want it down, and then those compiled and
I
shared with the
say,
governing body.
I would say put it up as soon as possible, because I don't see the point in waiting. I mean, if we have something ready to go, then I just say, then we just put it up and leave it up through the end of December, and then we decide on January 12th.
Fine.
I would be fine with that.
So
Hopefully-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hopefully we'll get some good applicants, and we
Oh, we
can,
will.
hopefully we can make the city commission great again.
I was going to point out that the reason for this is that you cannot serve on both bodies at the same time. I remember years later, there was a legislator from Junction City came on board, and he was a city commissioner in Junction City, and he was serving in both capacities, and I remember saying, I don't think you can be doing that, and he came back the next day and said, God, you're right. So he was going back and forth to Junction City and serving on that, so I knew years ago that you couldn't serve on both bodies.
I don't know who would want to.
Yeah,
So
why
it's
would
a
you want?
punishing effort.
Yeah. So, well, that's all I had. Do we need to have a motion on that, or?
John?
No, you don't. You can do it by consensus, and
Consent?
just the city
You're not
manager will go
committing to it.
forward with it.
Just to repeat, to make sure you're all okay, we will put the tab up as quickly as possible. It'd probably be Monday, because we're off tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday, and then have it closed and compiled on December 31st,
Yep, well, the 30th.
30th.
or 30th.
It's a Friday. 30th.
Right, okay. December 30th, and then
Yeah.
shared with the commission. And then included in, we will include copies in the, we will include copies in the city commission meeting packet for the 12th of the applications.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Commission comments? Commissioner Phelps?
Yes, we got Veterans Day coming up. I think it's very appropriate that we observe that day and honor our veterans and those serving, and thank them for their service. So any veterans out there, please know that you're in our hearts and thoughts, and we thank you for your service.
I want to congratulate you on your victory Tuesday. That was, it has been an honor to serve with you, and I know the best person won in that race, so congratulations. And,
Thank you.
And look forward to serving with you until you're done, but that's pretty amazing. And then I also want to recognize all veterans tomorrow. Enjoy the day. You've earned it, and that's all I've got.
Very happy that Veterans Day is on Friday. They deserve much more than a single day, because what they've given to us for generations is very powerful, and we were able to exercise it on Tuesday. And in that vein, I do want to congratulate Representative-elect Phelps. It's been a pleasure serving with you. Your knowledge of the city, both current and past, is exemplary. You ran an excellent campaign. And one of the things that I've missed since you have not been in office is that we would receive from you, you would take the time to come here and provide us with an update of what happened in the session and how it impacts us. We have not had one for 4 years. The other thing that I have missed and I appreciate about your service is that when someone had a question related or not related to city business, you responded immediately. I have missed that for 4 years. So I know you're going to do an excellent job and represent our community well. So congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Congratulations again. I'm glad to see that you won. Feel like if I hadn't made a smart comment to you earlier in the meeting, you'd feel like I probably didn't like you anymore. I felt the need to
duly
do
noted
that.
that comment, by the way. And,
I'm glad you ignored it.
being the bigger man here, I just kind of let it go, but.
We will miss that.
Yeah, you're definitely taller, I'll give you
Yes,
that.
You'll hear about it, so.
No,
I'll
congratulations.
ask for the chamber to be cleared right now.
Congratulations. No, I appreciate you being willing to serve again. It's a huge it's a huge time commitment. I mean, I think about just the little bit of time that we commit to this. I can't even fathom the amount of time that's committed to doing something for the state. So, and also, you know, thank Representative Boldra for doing it for the last 4 years. She gave up 4 years of her life to do it. So
I did thank her the other night.
yeah, so thank her. I had 2 things that I was wanting to be put on a future agenda or work session just for discussion. And it doesn't have to be right away. Actually, it probably, if we wait a month or 2 to just kind of vet it out and decide what needs to be done. But one is looking at potential city requirements for bonding of home inspections. And the reason I'm asking for this is because I recently had an issue with a home inspection, and perhaps technically they did everything right, but I think it was clear that they didn't have the homeowner's best interests in mind, even though I was the one paying the bill. So, and maybe this is just an isolated incident, I don't know. Maybe it's something that, maybe I think it's a problem and it's not a problem. But the reason I say that is because, you know, I have a public Facebook page, so if there's people in the community who, whether recently or a long time ago, had some type of home inspection or an inspection of some kind of equipment in your home and you had problems with it after the fact, and you feel like that's probably something that the inspector should have caught, that it was their responsibility to do, feel free to reach out to me. Just to decide whether or not this is an issue that maybe the city should be looking at or not. I quickly found out that you pay somebody to do something, and if they don't do it, there's pretty much nothing the city can do. So I'd like to look at if there's some type of ordinance or what kind of requirements we can look at to make sure that people who are performing those inspections are doing their due diligence. And then the second item I'd like to look at and just get somebody's opinion, mostly John's probably, is what the commission needs to do to remove somebody from a board after they've been appointed, specifically the Building Trades Board.
We'll get you a memo on it.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Commissioner Phelps, like I said before, congratulations. You did run a great campaign, and I also want to thank all the, you know, like I said earlier, the candidates that, you know, I've actually, a lot of, you know, from Rick Billender out in Gillen, Kansas, where I'm from. You know, I've known him since I was a young kid, and you know, just a lot of the candidates. Sue Boulder, you know, goes to my church. Eber, just a lot of them, I got to know, and I wanted to get to know, so I can make an informed decision when I voted, and just really appreciate everybody that ran, and the voter turnout, I thought was really good. We always want more, but 60% is pretty darn good, nowadays. So I thought that was great, and and like we were talking about Veterans Day, I want to congratulate you guys, Lance, and I got a nephew that's serving currently, and we have the right to vote. It's Tuesday, and we have the right to put stuff on Facebook and stuff because of what you guys have done for us, and I can't thank you guys enough. So, other than that, meeting's adjourned.
No executive session?
No,